perform just as well against this Marquette team, who is very tough, and they are coming off a very bad loss against Minnesota, one of their worst defeats in about 12 years. So they are looking to bounce back off of that, and obviously Bowling Green's looking to bounce back. So it's going to be a very competitive game here, and I'm very excited for it.
Well, I don't think we can talk about Bowling Green without talking about Janae Donahue. Career high in points for her, 24 points, 6 steals, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Probably one of her best games in a Bowling Green uniform, but even post-game you heard in her voice. She was pretty disappointed with the loss because of how they played defensively down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, she's really great defensively. She's shown that, having 6 of Bowling Green's 7 steals against Wisconsin. She's been a difference maker all season long. I cannot wait to see what she does against the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, and I really like that attitude from her, even though, she had a great game on the stat sheet. The team effort wasn't there, and it ended in a loss. So, she's really all about defense. They want to keep that pressure up, and they had glimpses, they had chances where they got back into that game, and they were just falling behind, letting up easy open looks. Wisconsin made 10 3-pointers on that game, so you're going to want to, be much better on the perimeter there, not let up open shots. Marquette's not really a dangerous team from outside, but if they have open looks, they will take them.
They will indeed. I'm curious, what do you guys think about Paige Kohler? It's been kind of a quiet start to the year by her standards. I mean, she's had a couple of really good shooting performances so far. For a game like tonight and a game where last year she played pretty well against Marquette at the Stroh Center, what are you guys' kind of expectations for her?
Well, you got to take in consideration a lot of the defenses that we're facing are going to put their attention towards Paige Kohler, which is going to allow players like Donahue to perform at the rate she has. So as the season gets going, more teams are going to focus on Donahue as well. But Paige Kohler's still been effective. Again, 18 points against Wisconsin. You can't be mad about that.
Yeah, I've been really, I think it's been a great start to the season so far for Paige. She's averaging 14.3 points so far in this season, not really the best shooting-wise, but, it's still early on in this season, and they're playing very tough opponents. They're going through quite the gauntlet so far in this early season, but Paige is familiar with Marquette, and also Marquette is familiar with Paige, so they're definitely going to want to keep their eyes on her and make sure they stop her, and so that'll open the door for more opportunities for the other players on the Bowling Green roster to step up.
And not to mention, she shot really well from the three-point line, going 4 of 6 against Wisconsin on Wednesday. So she's kind of getting that momentum back behind the three-point line.
Yeah, no doubt.
Indeed, she is. Let's switch gears, guys, to Marquette. It's a team that is starting pretty good this year. They had that big win against Wisconsin, but then, like you guys mentioned, they get thrashed by Minnesota.
Yeah, 43-point defeat there, 90-47. That is their largest loss since February 5th, 2013 at UConn. So they are coming off a very embarrassing loss there, and they are going to want to avenge that loss very badly. They don't want to obviously lose 2 straight. That's not going to be good there. And especially when this is their last home game until December 7th. So taking a big break there, they're going to want to perform well for their home crowd, and they don't want to let them down.
Yep.
Yeah, 2-0 at home to begin the season, and a lot of that's been led by Jaden Mason, who is averaging 15 points per game, and Skylar Forbes averaging 14.7 points per game. But Bowling Green also needs to watch out for Haley Weiss, who's been averaging 11.3 rebounds per game as a guard. So she's a knack for the rim, getting those rebounds. That's what's been huge for Marquette in the early going.
Really aggressive guard play from her. You don't see that a lot, averaging double-digit rebounds a game. So definitely want to keep her in check, not have her crashing the boards, and make sure you play those well there. But yeah, Marquette, they are under their second season of Kara Consuegra, who had a very good first year for them, and they have returned their whole entire roster from last season. They are very confident in playing under her, and it showed last year. They were 13-2 at home. They were a very dangerous home team, so BG has to take note of that and know that they are going to come out hard and they are going to play extremely well at home.
Indeed, and I think that's a good point you mentioned there, Sam. They have the whole team coming back, which is where I think you kind of see the difference in results early on this year compared to last year. Skylar Forbes was selected to the 2025-26 Jersey Mike's and Naismith Trophy Women's College Player of the Year watch list, and that's one of the few players in the country that was selected. Just 50 players get selected to that. What do you expect from her tonight?
Everything. She's been great as a forward for this team, being down low, getting those points in the paint, and that's what Marquette likes to do. A lot of their points ends up coming from the paint.
Yeah, she's played extremely well so far in this season. She is definitely BG's main target to focus on because she will really. She is very dangerous on that court, and BG has to keep a note of that.
Indeed, they do. We'll take a quick step aside. Adam Duffin is on site at Al McGuire Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. When we come back, we're going to hear from Adam Duffin and give us a preview of the game. Don't go anywhere. Listen to the BGSU Women's Basketball pregame show here on Falcon Radio.
You took the first step and quit smoking. But even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back here in Falcon Radio. We now have Adam Duffin standing by with us there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Adam Duffin, Bowling Green coming off that big loss against Wisconsin. There were some positives to take away, but I'm curious to hear your takeaways here heading into this game against Marquette.
Well, coming off a career night, Jonea Donahue had 24 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, and 6 steals, carried the way for the Falcons in the losing effort. And it was a 12-point game, 90-78, Wisconsin won. But really, the Falcons were in it for the majority of the time, even had it at a 5-point deficit in the second half. It didn't break away until the very end. Now, they're going to have a tough matchup today against Marquette. As you guys just mentioned before the break, Skylar Forbes, Big East first team last season, Player of the Year watch list, and how she's a familiar foe. Last season, her lowest total on the year, 4 points, was against Bowling Green. It's strange. It's early season. A lot of players struggle early on, but Forbes this year has come out very strong. She is shooting over 50% from three, still has 2 blocks per game. A year ago, she had the school record where she had 56, so very impressive for Skylar Forbes so far. Alongside Forbes is Hallie Weiss, as Trey was mentioning earlier, how her early season is going, his preview on bgfalconmedia.com. She is averaging over 11 rebounds this year. She's basically swapped. She's taken a step back in scoring and focused more on rebounding. She's also done a great job of getting offensive rebounds. She has over 2 per game, and that is something the Falcons cannot allow. That is something they struggled with on Wednesday versus Wisconsin. If you give up second chance points, you are giving the other team another possession, more time to waste off the clock. So Bowling Green needs to come out quick and get a lead early because they did not have a lead all of Wednesday against Wisconsin. And right now, they are finishing warm-ups, just head back to the locker room, and I'll give it back to you guys into the studio. You are listening to Falcon Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
All right, Adam, thank you so much. Definitely some good takeaways there. We'll take a quick step aside. When we come back, Sam and Trey will take us through some of the key points they want to talk about with the game. You're listening to Women's Basketball right here on Falcon Radio.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back here in Falcon Radio, we're moments away here from tip-off between the Golden Eagles and the Falcons for women's basketball action. I'm your host, Lucas Kleinmeyer. Adam Duffin, we just heard from. He'll be on the call at 7:30. Trey Kennedy, Sam Borg, right here in the studio, guys. What are some key points you guys want to touch on?
Well, for the Golden Eagles side, they like to move the ball around. They've had double-digit assists in each of their 3 games. They had 27 assists against Winthrop. Minnesota, they had 11, and against Wisconsin, 12. So they like to move the ball around. Bowling Green's got to find a way to minimize that.
Yeah, and like Adam mentioned just now, second chance points, you really have to limit them there. That's how Minnesota was really able to beat them there. There was 20-2 on the second chance points there. So if you stop them there, they limit the extra possessions, they limit the time off there, and you're able to, get some stops there and, have more scoring opportunities on offense for the Falcons.
And you want your star players, Donahue, Kohler, to be dominant in this one in particular, making a stand and being the leader that they both are on this team.
Yeah, you want them obviously to fuel your offense, but you also want to spread the ball around. Keep bench production. Obviously, like Kyle Woods coming off the bench, giving them 12 against Wisconsin, having them huge there. Just to give the starters their rest, make them make sure they're full energy for when they're needed in those big moments.
Where do you guys see the production from the 5 spot coming? Because it's Taya Ellis, who will be starting once again tonight, but they have Kendall Moxie, Jaden Cook for transfer coming in. They've all kind of shared kind of responsibilities so far this year. No one's really like taken a game over yet earlier this year. What have you guys made of that spot so far, and what do you make of kind of Bowling Green's production from that area on the floor?
I mean, it's still a question mark on this lineup, and it's something because it hasn't been solidified yet. And so as the season goes along, we'll know more of that answer coming by, but you want one player to emerge and to put themselves in that spot to be successful.
And I think it could be a player like Taya Ellis. I think she has, she's had a pretty good start to the season here. She's averaging 5.7 rebounds a game. She can really be that anchor in the post there that they need. Not so much of scoring wise, but she can always improve there as the season goes on. But yeah, like I said, it's a bit of a dark spot on this team so far.
For sure, good stuff, guys. Let's go to the Around the MAC around what's been happening this week. I know on Wednesday, Central Michigan got a big win over Butler. That was probably the big standout result from Wednesday. I'm curious to hear about some of the games this Friday, but also the games this weekend as well.
So, yeah, right now we have Kent State taking on Xavier down in Cincinnati. That one tipped off at 6:30, and right now we are looking at a 30-31 game at halftime there. Xavier up. So Kent State really keeping it close there with a very good Xavier team. And then a little bit later on tonight at 8 o'clock, we have Eastern Michigan taking on St. Thomas there and St. Paul. So should be a good game there for Eastern Michigan. And then last night you had Ohio taking on Morehead State and getting the win there, 76-60. You had Western Michigan beating Milwaukee by 1 point, 65-64. And then you had Northern Illinois taking on UIC in Chicago, losing there by 11, 66-55. And then you had Miami taking on Indiana Southeast, when I do not see a score for that. So let me...
Might be a good thing, depending on what the score of the game could be, possibly.
I'm not sure what happened there, but it looked like they got a commanding win, 94-40 there. So
that's why they didn't show it.
They wanted to keep Indiana Southeast fans, if they are there, a little happy not seeing that. But some good action around the MAC there, of course, and we have some great action here tonight as well.
For sure, indeed. I'm actually curious, Kent State MAC favorites this year for the conference. Xavier, who do you guys got?
I got Kent State.
Kent State?
I think Kent State could pull it off. Yeah.
We do cover the Mid-American Conference, so that makes total sense there. I mean, those are two teams that Bowling Green definitely familiar with as well. We'll take a quick step aside here for about a minute, play a couple of promos. When we come back, Sam and Trey will take us through our Falcon 4 keys of the game. Listen to women's basketball pregame show here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Hockey returns to the Madhouse on Mercer to battle Ferris State on Friday, November 14th at 7:07 p.m. Make sure to tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak and Kevin Hutchinson for the live broadcast from the Slater, beginning at 6:45 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for BGSU hockey.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
All right, back here for one final time here in Falcon Radio. Lucas Clymer, your host, alongside Trey Kenny, Sam Borg. We are about 7 minutes away here from tip-off in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Adam Duffin is on the call, but before we toss it to him, we have a couple of things to go over once we do. First of all, the Falcon 4 keys of the game, guys. What do you guys got?
Well, for me, it begins with Bowling Green getting those rebounds. It's something that Bowling Green has been out-rebounded a lot against their opponents, but they can do a big change by that if they can continue to be dominant on the boards, especially when the height is almost identical in this matchup. And then secondly, for me, Bowling Green needs to move the ball around, find open shots, especially after coming off a game where they had 16 total assists.
Yeah, and going off there, winning the rebound battle, you have to win the paint battle as well. Marquette, they play very physical, disciplined basketball. And so for BG, you really have to, box out aggressively, especially with, who's that? Ooh.
You got the same. Hallie
Weiss.
There we go.
The tough rebounder there. She's really going to make you work there. So, and then not only that, you got to, not allow easy putbacks. Like I said, no second chance points there. That's how they'll really get you there. And then for BG as well, you have to establish the offense early. You have to get off to an early start, get a lead, and try to keep that up all game so you're not playing uphill. You're not facing an uphill battle all game. Like we said against Wisconsin, they did not have a lead that whole game. So really getting the really good early start, making shots, and just keeping it up from there the whole game.
I'm curious because I want to give my 2 cents. I know I'm the host here, but I do have an opinion, believe it or not. What about transition defense? Because that's something that's kind of killed them the past couple of games, and something that assistant coach Katie Hempfling talked about post-game on Wednesday. And I think that's something that has pretty much been something that's been a big thing that they really need to work on, especially because when I talked to Shamil to start the year, their identity is built on defense. They want it to be built on defense this year, yet transition defense is like one of the main things you work on, especially when you go up against big teams.
The one highlight that has happened defensively are those steals, and a lot of that's been coming up from Donahue. So if they can also key in on those transition defensive miscues, it's going to be huge for the Falcons team.
Yeah, no doubt. And you would think, after these last 2 games against very tough opponents, you would think we would have learned from that, hopefully, and applies that to this another tough Marquette team there. Obviously, fast break opportunities. Getting down the court quickly. You want to make sure everyone's set up there, and you're keeping an eye on all the players, not allowing easy open looks, because that's where the Falcons have really crumbled so far in this season.
All right, guys, we'll get through our final thoughts and predictions before we toss it over to Adam. But for context for our listeners, last year Bowling Green defeated Marquette 64-62 in a game where both teams really didn't shoot the ball all that well. Marquette was 38.5%. Bowling Green was 35% from the floor. It was kind of a defensive battle, kind of rough basketball at the Stroh Center. As you guys talked about, this is just the 3rd time these teams are ever going to face off. What's your guys' final thoughts, predictions of what we're going to see tonight?
I think we're going to see another very close game, hopefully, from these 2 teams that, are very familiar with each other, having played only just last December. So, but this will be the first time that they have played in Marquette. Last game was at home for them, and then the other game was at a neutral site in like the 90s. So, really curious to see how Marquette feeds off that home court, and especially coming off a very embarrassing loss to a very tough Minnesota team.
I'm looking for the Falcons to improve yet again in their shot making as they continue to improve. They had over 40% last game against Wisconsin, 24% against South Carolina, despite the number 2 team in the nation. I want to continue that shot making percentage to continue to increase.
Well, we'll see, guys. Good stuff from the Cooling Center inside Falcon Radio. We'll see if Bowling Green can get back to 2-2 on the year and defeat Marquette for a 2nd straight year. That's going to do it for our pregame show here. We have Adam Duffin, who's going to be on the broadcast here. He'll take you through the game. We'll come back for halftime, and we'll have postgame thoughts. That has been the pregame show here in Falcon Radio. Take it away, Duffin.
Welcome back to the Al McGuire Center in Milwaukee, the second game of a Wisconsin road trip for the Falcons. As we get underway here, the starting lineups have been announced for both squads. Marquette sticking with the same unit they've had all year long. Lee Volker, Jaden Mason, Hallie Weiss, Olivia Porter, and Skylar Forbes are the five. The Falcons stick with the lineup they've had since that second game against South Carolina with Janea Donahue, Paige Kohler, Kiera Miller, Taya Ellis, and Lauren Gherkin. At center court, we have our referees Angel Kent, Bruce Morris, and Maj Forsberg for tonight's matchup, as Marquette looking for revenge as they lost 90-47 against Minnesota. That is their worst loss in 12 years, as Sam Bork mentioned in the pre-game show. That was in 2013. They lost 94-37 versus UConn. Marquette, obviously, now back at home, as that was a road game against Minnesota. They are looking to not have anywhere near that kind of performance. They only got 5 points from their bench in that matchup. Now for the Falcons, it was a 12-point loss, 90-78 versus Wisconsin, but on the bright side of things, Janea Donahue had 24 points, her career high, 8 for 8 from the free throw line, taking advantage of her aggressiveness in the lane, along with her 6 assists, a career high, and 6 rebounds, which was tied for the team lead. Janea Donahue looking to continue that tonight. Along with Donahue, Paige Kohler had 4 threes against Wisconsin, her highest mark of the season so far. Kohler also had 4 free throws made out of 4 attempts, as the Falcons were 20 of 22 overall in the night. They need to take advantage of that. If you're going to be in a close road game, that it's going to come down to free throws in the clutch. Overall for the Falcons, they did out-rebound Wisconsin 37-35. They had more steals than Wisconsin. Typically, you win that matchup, but they just weren't able to come away in transition on defense. They allowed Wisconsin to pass the ball up the floor immediately after a made basket. The Badgers would respond right back, and it ruined the Falcons' momentum throughout the game, especially when they cut it within 5 points. They allowed an immediate transition 3 to get it back up, and they could never get that close again. The Falcons currently in game 4 out of 6 on this road trip. This is the second one in Wisconsin. Next week, they will have a trip all the way out to Alaska for 2 games. That will be next Friday and Saturday. Lucas Kleinmeyer will be on the call for both of those. And the Falcons really just trying to survive this road trip. It's never going to be easy when you're going from Louisiana to South Carolina to Wisconsin to Alaska. It's never meant to be easy when you do something like that. But to come away with momentum here, win now, get some time to rest before a long trip to Alaska, where there will be a 4-hour time difference to adjust to for the players. Now is the time to prove against some good competition against Big East team. Right now, Falcons starting 5, talking to head coach Fred Shamil as they enter the court. Same thing with the squad of Kara Kunstler of Marquette. She was the Big East co-coach of the year last season, and continuing it here. Right now, Taya Ellis at center court, lining up across from Skylar Forbes for the tip-off. Referees waiting for last official go. And we're about to get underway. Forbes wins the tip and gets it to Porter. Guarded by the true freshman Kiera Miller, only true freshman on Bowling Green's roster. Pass inside. Quickly, Gherkin got there and forced them outside. Shot by Volker from the mid-range on the right side. And Marquette quickly gets on the board. Kiera Miller will be the one to bring it down the floor. Hands it off to Kohler towards the top of the key. Ellis gets it at the left elbow. Ellis, little handoff to Miller. Kohler in the left wing looking for help down low. Gets a screen from the left. Kohler drives left baseline underneath the basket. Right corner, Donahue had it, thought about it, passes it back to Kohler. Shot clock winding down. Kira Miller for three, hits back iron. Rebounded quickly by Porter. Porter up to Mason. Mason, right wing, brings it back up top. Now driving baseline is Forbes, and Forbes bumps into Kohler, and Paige Kohler takes the charge. The Falcons last game took 2 charges defensively there, already picking up their first as we are just under the 9-minute mark here in the first. Miller has the right side to herself, swings it around. It leads to Donahue on the left wing. Cross-court pass to Miller. Miller pump fakes, drives, right baseline, looking for help. Her pass is tipped. Taya Ellis has it underneath the right block, just misses her first attempt. Gets it back, then loses it. Volker down the floor, passes to Mason on the left wing. Mason, handoff to Forbes. Back to Mason, towards the free throw line. Passes it out to Porter. Porter drives hard to the basket. Makes a good pass underneath. And Hallie Weiss, little left-hand layup as Porter scooped it underneath her. Quickly, the Falcons get up the floor. Donahue drives hard past Porter. Donahue continuing to go to the basket. Off balance, has her shot blocked. Forbes gets it now, passes it up the floor to Mason. Mason saves it to Volker. Volker down low, left block, just misses the first layup attempt, and they don't get it back. Kiera Miller with the rebound. Up ahead to Donahue. One-on-one against Porter on the right wing. Thought about it, didn't shoot. Kohler gets it and does a handoff right back to Donahue. Gets a screen from Gherkin. Gherkin got it, gave it right back. Still 4-0, 7.5 to go. Kiera Miller from the right wing for three, just misses that one off the back iron. 0 for 2 now from beyond the arc. Quickly in transition. Mason thought about it, decided to back out. Tipped away by Ellis. Mason gets it back. Mason dribbling around all the way to the right wing now, looking for help, and there's going to be a foul down low on Donahue. As Forbes was fighting for position, Donahue gets called for the foul, trying to front the pass down low. And we'll have our first substitution of the game. Jasmine Fern will sub in for Lauren Gherkin. Fern, more of a three-point specialist for this Falcon squad, as she'll be tasked with guarding Hallie Weiss. Now inbound down low. Volker had it, got rid of it, and now another offensive foul called on the Golden Eagles as Olivia Porter pushed Kiera Miller about 5 feet. Didn't like the call, but it's Falcons basketball again, and Miller will be the one to bring it up the floor. Ellis sets a screen. Miller goes right, top of the key, passes out, left wing Kohler. Kohler drives baseline, looking for help, has her pass swatted out of bounds by Volker. 6:52 left in the first, and it's still 4-0 Falcons. 0 for 4 from the field. Donahue will inbound underneath the basket from the right side. Looking for help, finally gets it, and it's tipped away. She was looking for Fern instead. Weiss swats it out, and now the inbound underneath from the left side of the basket. Miller will be the inbounder now. Miller throws it up to Donahue towards the left side of center court. Kohler came off the screen, couldn't get the ball, gets it now on a handoff. Shot clock down to 5. Kohler drives hard, spins, mid-range, short. Rebounded underneath, and a foul on Ellis. As Forbes had it, Ellis tried to swat at it and gets tacked with the foul. Ellis will get subbed out for Jaden Cook now. Porter uses the screen from Weiss. Pass around now, underneath, and another defensive foul on the Falcons. This time it will be Jaden Cook as she just subs in and picks up the foul. Third foul on Bowling Green now. Porter dribbling to the top of the key, guarded by Fern. Porter drives right by, finds a wide open Hallie Weiss, and she gets the and one. Jaden Cook immediately picks up a second foul. She wasn't in position, and she will be subbed out for Kendall Moxie. Marquette now has a 6-0 lead. And the free throw, back iron, tipped around, rebounded by Kohler. Kohler looking up the floor, finds nothing. Donahue top of the key now, towards the free throw line, driving left block, trying to spin, and has a circus shot for an and one. John A. Donahue losing balance, pirouetting around, and hits it towards out of bounds. Donahue shot 8 for 8 on Wednesday against Wisconsin, and now will have her first free throw of the night, looking to convert the N1. As the Falcons finally break out of their scoring slump with 6:03 left in the first, and the free throw is good after it rattles around and off the backboard and in. Kaya Wood subs into the game, transfer from Akron. Played her first Falcons minutes on Wednesday, had 12 points. Now underneath, Kaya Woods swats it away on the pass down low. Kohler ends up with it, drives down the floor, gets bumped from behind, lost it, decides to shoot from the left wing and misses in and out. Rebounded by Porter. Porter up ahead, Volker to the right corner, over to Melmans. Melmans misses it. Rebounded by Donahue, bringing it up the floor. Donahue left side towards the elbow. Gives it to Kohler. Kohler left wing for three, back iron. Falcons struggling to hit from beyond the arc so far. Porter gets another rebound. Now passes it down low to Forbes. Forbes guarded by two defenders. They swing it around, leads to Volker, top of the key, wide open, missed. Kaya Woods, smallest player on the floor, gets the ball and gets hit hard. Volker lowered her shoulder a bit, and it's a foul. Falcons aren't in the bonus yet, and Joniah Bland-Fitzpatrick comes into the game for Jasmine Fern. Just about the 5-minute mark here, and there will be a sub for Marquette. Hallie Weiss will come out of the game for Sharia Smith. Kohler on the right wing, gives it to Donahue. Donahue, another handoff. Bland-Fitzpatrick gets it, now to Kohler. Kohler driving right side, handoff to Woods. Woods trying to attack towards the free throw line, doesn't. Joniah Bland-Fitzpatrick drives, misses it inside. Kendall Moxie fights down low. Moxie has it blocked, gets it back, and then steps out of bounds. And they're going to say it's a foul on Moxie down low, saying she elbowed on her way after getting her own offensive rebound. And we will head to a media timeout here in Milwaukee. And this timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, proud creators of ale Ziggy Zumba, a light ale made in collaboration with BG Athletics and available at Juniper Brewing Company on South Main Street in Northwest Ohio Kroger stores. Details at juniperbrew.com. You are listening to Falcon Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
BGSU football begins match and play against Akron on Tuesday, November 18th at Deutsch L. Perry Stadium. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network Tyler Kavlitz and Sean Connolly at 7 p.m. for kickoff. There will also be an in-studio pregame, halftime, and postgame show hosted by Nate Hinners, Artie Abrego, and Brendan Fagan, all starting at 6:35 p.m. on Falcon Radio.
message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas.
Congratulations on getting your diploma.
You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
If you ever miss the Zig Zone on Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM or just want to re-listen to the program, each show is posted in full on bgfalconmedia.com with timestamps so you can skip ahead to your favorite part.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Welcome back as Marquette is leading Bowling Green 6-3 with 4:35 left in this first quarter. So far, both teams struggling from the field as Marquette is 3 of 7, Bowling Green 1 for 10, and both teams combined an 0 for 6 from three-point range. Marquette will have the ball out of this timeout as the Falcons pressure in the backcourt. Volker just got the ball as Donahue was lurking. Donahue had 6 steals on Wednesday against Wisconsin. Now Porter driving, uses the screen from Forbes. Leads to Volker in the left corner. Lee Volker left wide open from the Bowling Green defense and hits the first three-point of the night for either team. 9-3 now Marquette. Falcons swinging around, leads to Donahue driving to her right, spins at about the free throw line. Fitzpatrick drives left, misses off the back iron from mid-range. Rebound down low by Taya Ellis, gets it out to Kohler for 3 from the right wing. She misses. Long rebound, swatted by Bland Fitzpatrick and corralled finally by Forbes. Quickly up the floor go the Golden Eagles, and it's a miss from Melmans in the right corner. Kohler gets the rebound, drives quickly, takes it out right wing. Kaya Woods drives hard to the basket, left-handed layup and one! Kaya Woods going over the taller defender and Melmans. The second and one of the night for the Falcons. And it's 9-5. Woods was dealing with a knee injury in the first 2 games of the season. Came off the bench on Wednesday with 12 points. That was 3rd on the team. And she'll hit the free throw here to make it 9-6. Deficit only 3 for the Falcons. 3.5 to go in the first. Slow start for these offenses. Woods guarding closely on Mason. Now moved over to Shariah Smith. Smith looking for help, top of the key. 8 seconds on the clock, and Marquette's barely moved the ball. Volker step back 3 in the left wing. She hits it over the outstretched arms of Bland Fitzpatrick. Volker 2 threes now already. And Kaya Woods quickly goes in transition. Left wing, Fitzpatrick left open, misses, rebound Donahue. Donahue spinning, lost the ball for a moment. Bland Fitzpatrick gets it back. 15 on the clock still, plenty of time to reset. Kaya Woods has it, calls for a screen from Taya Ellis. Woods drives, goes hard with the right hand. It's blocked away by Forbes. Quickly in transition. Mason takes the left-handed layup over the arms of Fitzpatrick. And it's another bucket for Milwaukee here. 14-6. 2.5 to go in the first. Falcons continue to struggle offensively. 2 for 15 from the field. Donahue driving to the right. Stutters, got her defender in the air. Didn't shoot it. Gives it to Ellis. Ellis, right block, spinning, still looking for help. Bland Fitzpatrick gets it. She's on the right baseline, and it's a foul on the offense. Taya Ellis did a bit of a moving screen, and it's her second foul already. She'll be subbed out for Jaden Cook. And Cook already has 2 fouls. Falcons cannot afford to get in foul trouble this early. Kendall Moxie also already has a foul, so they're running out of height on the Falcons roster that they can play and expect to stay in the game. And Donahue steals it away from Porter in the backcourt for a moment and then lost it right back. She almost had it, but couldn't save it before it went towards the scorer's table. Janea Donahue, her 6 steals on Wednesday against Wisconsin. A couple of them were in the backcourt. It was just whatever the primary ball handler bringing the ball up, and she just took it away. And a couple other times through the passing lanes. She'll continue to guard up in the backcourt as Hallie Weiss will inbound to Porter. Only 15 on the shot clock. Porter gets switched on to Cook. Weiss swings it right corner to Mason. Mason swings it around to Melmans in the left wing. 3 seconds on the clock. Melmans looking for help. She's going to have to chuck up a shot over Fitzpatrick, and no time left on the shot clock. The Falcons have to be happy right now, only allowing 14 with just under a minute and 35 to go. But they need to start scoring points. 0 for 6 from 3 still. Woods gives it to Kohler, gives it right back now to Donahue. Donahue top the key, waiting for Kohler to wrap around a screen from Cook. Cook gets it underneath on the right block, spins, looking for help. Cook passed it inside to Donahue, and Donahue lost it, slipped a bit there. No foul called. Also had the mascot, the Golden Eagles, slip behind me as well. And now a series of subs as Emily Cecil and Lauren Gherkin come to the game for Bland Fitzpatrick and Donahue. Falcons so far 2 turnovers, 2 made field goals. Marquette having a similar issue, already 3 turnovers. Mason on the right wing, guarded closely by Cecil. Now Kaya Woods tried to steal it away, and she bumps into Olivia Porter. Now in the bonus, it will be 2 free throws. Woods, only 5'3", tried to jump in the passing lane and just couldn't reach it, and ended up bumping into Porter. Porter makes that first free throw. Last season, Porter started all 32 games for the Golden Eagles, and so far has done the same this year, starting in all 4, as she misses the second, and it's rebounded by Cook. Kaya Woods slowly bringing it up, waiting for a screen from Gherkin, uses it, hand off to Cecil. Cecil to Gherkin on the left wing. Cecil gets it back, top the key. Multiple handoffs in a row for the Falcons, and they continue going with it to Gherkin on the left wing. Gherkin lets it fly, too much, didn't hit the rim. Easy rebound for Porter. Mason gets it now, and the shot clock and game clock almost even at 23 seconds each. Marquette looking for the last shot here. Woods guarding closely all the way up towards half court, not making it an easy final possession. Mason still trying to drive and cross over. 8 seconds now. Mason drives, scoop pass underneath, just missed it towards Hallie Weiss. It's going to be a turnover, 5.1 on the clock. Cecil will inbound. Falcons have to go the full length of the court. Woods gets the inbound, drives towards half court, 2 seconds. Now right-handed floating layup, and Kaya Woods hits it to end the quarter. The Falcons get a much-needed bucket. That will make it 15-8. Marquette is in control early on, but the Falcons get a much-needed shot from Kaya Woods. You're listening to Falcon Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
This week's Falcon Media Sports Network Athlete of the Week is men's basketball's Javonte Campbell. The senior guard from Muskogee, Oklahoma leads the nation with 17 steals and tied the program record with 8 steals against Lemoyne. He is averaging a steal every 5 minutes played this season. Last year, he set the BGSU single-season record with 90 steals. Campbell has 2 20-plus point games against Lemoyne and Bethany. You're seeing a very...
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
On September 13th, BGSU men's soccer's Bennett Painter scored the game-winning goal against Northern Illinois, leading to the team getting nationally ranked. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call on the WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
Gonna win that one initially. Head up again. Wins the second one, however. Back to lane, back to Painter. That one's blocked, gets it back. Painter! Bennett Painter paints another masterclass at Cochran Stadium.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
At the Stro or on the road, the Falcon Media Sports Network is covering the Falcons all season.
Welcome back to Marquette as the Golden Eagles lead Bowling Green 15-8 after the first quarter. Big difference in field goal percentage so far. Marquette 6 for 11, Bowling Green 3 for 17, and yet to make a three-pointer. 0 of 7 from there. As the Falcons start with the ball, Kaya Woods, top of the key, trying to drive off Mason. Hands it off to Cecil. Cecil, left block, looking for help. Tries to make a bounce pass. It's tipped away, ends up in the hands of Vice. Vice bringing it down the floor, stopped at the free throw line. Out to Forbes, right wing for 3, just banks out. Long rebound, Gherkin battles for it and gives it to Kohler. Kohler urging Woods to run up the floor. Dribbles it over to the right corner before they swing it around. Cecil coming off a screen from Gherkin, top of the key. Still nothing there. Falcons continue to swing it around. Woods drives right side of the elbow. Still can't get anything going. Only 3 seconds on the shot clock. Cecil has a defender jump in front of her, takes it, and has it rattle in. Emily Cecil gets it going from beyond the arc for the Falcons. A much-needed shot at the end of the buzzer. And it's 15-11 with Marquette in control. Quickly, the Golden Eagles get it up the floor. Mason drives, right baseline. Pass it out to Forbes. Forbes, mid-range shot, no good from the elbow. And rebounded by Kohler. Kohler driving down the floor. Finds Cecil, left wing. Cecil, another 3. Back-to-back from beyond the arc. As Emily Cecil has made it from a 7-point game to a 1-point game in a matter of seconds. Quick throw down the floor to Forbes, and she misses the layup. Rebounded quickly by Kohler. Over to Woods down the floor, and Kaya Woods with a spinning layup. And just like that, the Falcons are up 16-15. Head coach Kara Consuegra telling them to calm down, and the 10-second violation. Kaya Woods in the backcourt guarding Mason. And she just didn't get it up past half court. She took her time. And referee Bruce Morris ran down the floor to call it. The Falcons starting a perfect 3 for 3 this quarter on field goals, with Cecil and Woods leading the way. Woods now with motion of Cook and Gherkin screening for each other. And then eventually it's stolen away by Forbes on off a pass from Cecil. Down low to Haley Vice for the layup. Marquette regains the lead, 17-16, 7:40 to go. Cecil drives past Vice, gives it back to Woods. Woods sizing up Vice. A foot difference between the two players. Gives it to Kiera Miller in the left corner. Miller misses her three-point attempt. Quickly rebounded. Volker gives it to Forbes. Over to Mason, right corner. Drives baseline, looking for help. Pass underneath, and Vice puts it in. She snuck it right between Gherkin and Cook down low. Another good pass by Mason, wrapping it around the defenders. Marquette regains the lead, and Woods decides to pull up for three and misses it. Maybe had her foot on the line. No matter what, it is rebounded by Porter. Porter gives it to Forbes. Quick transition three, hits the back iron. Long rebound. Volker and Miller fight for it, and it's knocked off of Volker. Falcons basketball. Marquette leading 19-16, 7 minutes to go. Leading the way for both teams is Lee Volker with 8 points on 2 threes and Kaya Woods on 7 points with a series of drives and a free throw off an and one. Woods will be the one to bring it down the floor. Falcons swinging around before Bland Fitzpatrick, who's back in the game, drives. Little mid-range floater, and she hits it. Back down to a point deficit. Quickly in transition, Volker on the left wing, driving past Cecil. Now drives all the way to the corner. Doesn't have any help. They swing it around to Porter on the right wing. Porter drives, looking for help in the middle. Gives it to Vice. Vice over to Volker. Left corner. Volker, too much. Doesn't hit any of the rim. Rebounded by Miller after a bobble. Miller driving straight towards Porter down the middle. Lobs it inside to Bland Fitzpatrick, and it's going to be a jump ball. Correction, that is Layla Harrison in the game, along with Bland Fitzpatrick. And now substitution on the floor as Kohler came back in for Cecil. Porter bringing it down the floor, guarded by Woods. Still continuing with aggressiveness on defense. Now Harrison switches on, and miscommunication down low leads to a Forbes open layup that just has too much on it. Doesn't hit anything, and it leads to a quick transition for the Falcons. Paige Kohler, left wing, left open, has a long bounce 3 times off the rim, but no good. Another rebound for Mason. Quickly in transition, Vice has it over the smaller player in Kiera Miller. As Marquette, they saw the issues the Falcons had on Wednesday, and they are attacking in transition. They understand that's the weakness of this defense, and it's 21-18, Marquette on top. Bland Fitzpatrick sizing up towards the free throw line, had it swatted away off the knee of a Marquette defender, and the Falcons will inbound underneath. So far in the second quarter, neither team has a foul, whereas in the first quarter, both teams ended up in the bonus by the end of it. Inbounded to Kohler in the left wing. Gave it back to Miller up top. Only 7 seconds on the shot clock. Falcons have to hurry. Kaya Woods, step back three from way outside, just misses it off the left part of the rim, and it goes out of bounds. And here we will reach a timeout. And this timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU Women's Cross Country begins their postseason with the NCAA Great Lakes Regional at Angel Mounds Cross Country Course in Evansville, Indiana on Friday, November 14th. Check out the recap of the event by Falcon Media Sports Network's Holden Ruck on bgfalconmedia.com.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here in Marquette. Marquette leading Bowling Green 21-18 as we are just under 5 minutes left in this first half. Leading the way is Hallie Weiss from Marquette. She has 10 points, all of them from 2-point range in her 12 minutes of play. To the Falcons, it's Kaya Woods, the transfer from Akron, leading the way so far for this offense as she's made 3 of their 7 field goals. It's been a tough day for Paige Kohler. She is 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3-point range, but she's leading the Falcons with 5 rebounds. This is another part of the early season where players just haven't found their rhythm yet, and it just leads to chaotic basketball. As well for Marquette, Porter is leading their team with 5 rebounds, despite being the primary ball handler. And she only has 1 point, and that was off of a free throw. Porter will be the one to bring it up. On the left wing, guarded closely by Kaya Woods. That hasn't changed throughout the night. Gives it up to Smith. Smith to Mason on the left wing. Mason looking for Smith down low. Kira Miller's not letting her get by, and there's going to be a foul on Miller. Sharia Smith was trying to get position inside, and Miller fell to the floor, but is called with the foul, being a little too aggressive, trying to make up for that size difference. And the Golden Eagles will inbound underneath the basket on the left side. It's given to Smith, and now back out to Porter. Kaya Woods tips the ball. Porter gets it back. Weiss makes a bounce pass down low to Smith, and Smith with the size advantage misses the first shot, gets it back. 4 Falcon defenders inside, but Sharia Smith won't be stopped. 21-18 or 23-18 Marquette now. Falcons swing around to Kohler, still held scoreless with only 4 to go in the second quarter. Kohler, handoff to Woods. Only 8 on the shot clock. Bland Fitzpatrick drives, right elbow, misses a mid-range shot. Fought for the rebound, and it's going to be a jump ball as it piled up. Good hustle by Bland Fitzpatrick after missing the shot off the back iron. Dives across the floor for it. And it should be Bowling Green basketball. It is. Janea Donahue comes in the game for Kaya Woods. And Donahue will be the one to inbound underneath. Donahue gives it to Layla Harrison in the left corner. Falcons continue to move it around in that left side. And Kohler calling for a screen. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Kohler drives baseline, gets stopped, makes a good back pass to Donahue down low. Donahue banks it in with a nice little touch on the floater. As the Falcons have a good pass inside, they've really yet to have an opportunity like that tonight, but a good back cut from Donahue and a good feed from Kohler. 23-20 Marquette leading. Pass underneath, and no one was home as Hallie Weiss struggled to get open, and the pass by Porter goes out of bounds. Coach Shamil having a conversation with one of our referees on the night, but eventually will get inbounded to Miller. Miller looks to Kohler, top of the key. Kohler has a double screen set up between Fitzpatrick and Harrison. Donahue now gets it, drives to the right side of the lane, and Donahue finishes it strong. 23-22 Marquette leading with just under 3 minutes to go as the Falcons offense has picked it up here in the second quarter. Now in the left wing, Melmans guarded by Kohler, drives down the baseline, swatted away. Paige Kohler gets the steal. Up ahead to Donahue. Donahue can't get it. Does a backwards pass out of bounds to save it. Harrison was able to gather it and thrown away. Turnover quickly. Forbes down the floor, gets an easy layup. The Falcons missed a fast break opportunity, and it goes right against them. 25-22 Marquette, 2:20 to go. Kohler, guarded by Porter towards the top of the key. They eventually move it around to Donahue in the left wing. Donahue spins a couple times, gets towards the free throw line, fighting for help, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Kohler fakes a three, pulls up for a mid-range, has it bank, rattle, and go in. Paige Kohler gets herself on the board, and Marquette's lead down to 1, but quickly in transition, pass down low to Forbes. Forbes doesn't have it as it's stolen away by Layla Harrison. Kira Miller gives it to Donahue. Donahue down low to Harrison. Harrison on the left block, finishes it strong from the left side. Layla Harrison, a steal, and then the score. Going both ways, and the Falcons have the lead. 26-25, a minute and a half to go. Bowling Green picking it up offensively and continuing to make life difficult for this Golden Eagles offense. Forbes gives it in down low to Weiss. Weiss harassed by 2 defenders, but she's able to get it in. The Falcons, some of these matchups have a height disadvantage, and so far it's hurt them down low. 27-26 Marquette. Kohler gives it to Donahue. Kohler gets it right back, drives left elbow, out to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick drives left side of the lane, misses, gets her own miss, goes right back up, and Bland Fitzpatrick gets fouled. 2 free throws with 54 seconds left in this half. Both teams will sub as Layla Harrison's taken out for Lauren Gherkin, and Lee Volker will come to the game for Jaden Mason. First free throw is no good for Bland Fitzpatrick. So far in the night, 2 points, 1 of 5 from the field. The second free throw is good, and it's all knotted up again at 27. Kaya Woods will immediately sub in the game. She goes in for Miller. Woods guarding closely. Couple handoffs, leads to Fitzpatrick on Volker. Volker inside to Forbes, swatted away by Cecil, who also subbed in the game, Emily Cecil. In her limited minutes tonight, hit 2 3-pointers back-to-back in the early going of the second quarter and playing physical defense down low. Forbes gets the inbound and drives in immediately. The Falcons fell asleep on defense, and it's 29-27 Marquette. Woods driving towards the right elbow, looks for help. They swing it around to Bland Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick drives back out. Shot and game clock, 5-second difference. Kohler on the left wing, looking for help. Decides to not use the screen. Drives to the right side of the basket. Kohler just has it miss. Long rebound and a traveling violation on Marquette. It was Sharia Smith who got the rebound and fell. Or correction, Jaden Mason who got the rebound and fell. So the Falcons will have a full 11.3 seconds to end this quarter, and instead, Kaya Woods has her inbound tipped away. It's gathered in by Mason. Gives it to Forbes. Forbes drives, 4 seconds left, and they're going to call a blocking foul on Paige Kohler. Forbes drove hard to the basket. Kohler couldn't keep her balance when backing up. And with 3 seconds, and as one fan yelled to my left, 3.5 seconds left in the half, inbounded to Volker towards the free throw line. She dribbles past Jaden Cook, has it blocked away, and that will end this first half here in Milwaukee. Marquette leading the Falcons 29-27. we'll have Lucas Kleinmeyer, Trey Kennedy, and Sam Bork for the Falcon Media Sports Network halftime show. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark, and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Mom was always very organized. But my sister and I noticed she started to forget things.
Telling my girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard.
But Mom's early detection gave us time to make a plan. My sister and I were there for Mom and each other.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
BG Women's Swim aims to stay undefeated on the season as they host the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley to Cooper Pool on Friday, November 14th and Saturday, November 15th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Dawson Pelter will have a recap of the meet on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here in the Cooling Center and the Falcon Radio studios, here halftime between Bowling Green and Marquette women's basketball action. 29-27 is the score in favor of the Golden Eagles. I'm your host, Lucas Kleinmeyer, joined alongside once again Sam Bork and Trey Kennedy, guys. And I think it's safe to say not the best start offensively for Bowling Green, especially in that first quarter, but they go into halftime only down by 2.
Yeah, especially coming off that really tough first quarter. They scored 19 points in that second quarter, overcoming Marquette, who scored 14 points in the second quarter. So as bad as that was, I got to be happy and excited about what they did in that second quarter.
Yeah, it was a really good turnaround there in that second quarter. They came out making 3 straight shots with 2 3-pointers from Emily Cecil there. So really great start there after, very poor shooting performance in that first quarter. So hopefully building off that into halftime and making some adjustments there and keeping this one a very competitive game.
Yeah, 2 for 12 shooting from 3 for Bowling Green, 2 for 8 for Marquette. Not great, to say the least, there early on. You look at some other shooting, Paige Kohler, just 1 for 7, 2 points. I think that was probably one of the big ones that stood out to me. But on the flip side, you have Marquette, you have Vice, who has a game-high 12 points.
Yeah, and something that we both noted, both Sam and I, rebounds are huge. Despite us not having points to score, with Paige Kohler, one of our best players, only having 2 points, we're rebounding well, 18 to 17 in the early going. So that's something that we have to be happy about moving forward. But you got to get those players like a Paige Kohler getting going, and 2 points is just not going to cut it.
Yeah, Paige Kohler has 5 rebounds there in that half, leads the team there. So. And also with Hallie Weiss, 0 rebounds in that first half there. So really great there, not getting her a chance to get on those boards there. And what we've seen so far is really good production from BG's bench, especially Kaya Woods with 7 points in that first half. She was really scoring the ball well there, especially with being pretty much the smallest player on the court there.
And if you're not going to have your starters play at the level you would hope, you got to help and pray that your bench is going to play at a level to kind of combat that weakness at the very beginning.
Yeah, definitely. And that was one of a point I was mentioning in this pregame that, you want to spread the ball around. You want to have, your bench players and, your players that you're not really counting on all the time stepping into a big situation like this and being able to score efficiently with the Falcons there.
We'll take a quick step aside, and when we come back, Sam, Trey, and myself will have more from the first half. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball right here on Falcon Radio.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here in Falcon Radio, Lucas Kleinmeyer alongside Trey Kennedy, Sam Bork for a halftime report of Bowling Green women's basketball against Marquette, guys. And it was some good discussion before we left off. But I think one thing also stood out to me, at least, was the lead time. Bowling Green's only led by a minute. And if you go back to Wisconsin, they almost didn't lead at all in that game. It's been a long time since this team has played with the lead.
It's something that they've struggled throughout the very beginning part of the season. They've been getting to start slow and not start what you want to see them start as, and not being efficient on the offensive side. And it's something that we've been trying to get out of this group, knowing that head coach Fred Shamil wants them to be aggressive and attack the rim, both offensively and defensively. So it's just something, yet again, that they have not seen so far.
And yeah, not having a lead, obviously very tough there, but they've done a good job not, having them extend that lead, not having it out of reach. They've been able to keep it, pretty close here, especially, being down by 2 at the half there. So really good stuff there, obviously they're not really, it's a bit of an uphill battle for them, but they've been able to climb it a few times, obviously, then go back down. But, I just like, that it's not a very big lead for them so far in this half here.
Indeed, guys. We'll take one more step aside. We'll come back. We're going to get you guys' player of the game. Who is it going to be for Bowling Green? Also, some players to watch out for Marquette. We'll look at around the MAC and preview the second half coming up. Don't go anywhere. Listen to women's basketball right here on Falcon Radio.
Imagine home. The smell of coffee, the sound of a lawnmower, the sun's warmth on your face. Free to be yourself. Surrounded by love that helps you grow. This is a place to call home. That's an American dream we all deserve. But in 50% of U.S. states, you could legally be denied housing if you are LGBTQ+. Get the facts and hear real stories at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Back here in Falcon Radio for one final time before we send it back out to Adam Duffin and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Got about 5 minutes here, guys. Player of the game. Let's go to that, both for Bowling Green and for Marquette. Who are you guys looking out for here in the second half?
For Bowling Green, I'm looking at Kyle Woods. I think she has been great so far in this first half, coming off the bench for the Falcons. This is only her second game in a Falcon uniform, so really liked what I'm seeing from her there, especially being the shortest player out there at 5'3". And Marquette is a much bigger team, especially when you look at her on the court there. So she has not been phased at all by this team, and she's really been great so far.
On the Marquette side of the ball, I'm looking at Lee Volker, who currently has 8 points off of 3 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. She's played 15 minutes of basketball time today. She's been a difference maker for Marquette, so I'm looking at her for player of the game watches.
Some good picks indeed. Sam, I'm going to rely on you here, man. What we got around the MAC? What's happening here from around the conference? That Kent State-Xavier game was pretty enticing for me.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter there. Kent State currently is up 61-57, so could be a very big win for that Kent State program there. And then Eastern Michigan and St. Thomas tipped off just a few minutes ago. That one right now is 11-6. St. Thomas is up with about 3 minutes left in that first quarter there.
Some good updates there, Sam. Thank you again. We'll get you updated one final time. During our post-game show, Adam Duffin will also be joined by assistant coach Maggie Lucas and our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game, TBD, guys. One final thing before we send it back to Adam in Milwaukee. Give us some of your second half adjustments, predictions for both these teams. What does Bowling Green need to do in order to come from behind, only down by 2, but also get a big road win in Wisconsin?
Paige Kohler needs to get going offensively. Like I said, 2 points, not going to cut it for one of your star players. But also, the bench has got to continue to be efficient and be disruptive on the offensive side of the ball. They've done a great job minimizing what Marquette's done in the paint. Only 20 points in the paint compared to Bowling Green 16. So I would say Marquette needs to continue to limit themselves in the paint.
Yeah, I think definitely got to get her going. Definitely have to just shoot the ball better, obviously. They did shoot the ball a little better in the second quarter there, but just, with that first quarter really set them behind there. So, just taking better looks. Obviously, this Marquette team is very physical, and they've been playing some very good defense there. A lot of turnovers for the Falcons, but just clean it up, take some better shot selections, and just hope that they go in and they'll be a much better team in the second half.
How big do you think increasing the 3-point percentage in the second half is?
I think it's very big. It's what really has kept them in that second quarter there with Emily Cecil being able to knock down 2 3-pointers there, kept them, was able to get them the lead a couple times there, making it close there. So I think it's huge for this team, but it's not. I mean, it's not the most important.
It's almost in a game where you don't really necessarily need it with how low scoring it is, but it would be something nice to have.
Yeah, for sure.
3-pointers can always change the way a ball game is. If a team gets hot, goes on a run, knocking down several back-to-back 3-pointers and triples, it's huge for a team offensively.
Indeed it is. Well, that's going to do it here for our halftime report. As I mentioned, post-game, we'll recap the game. Bowling Green looking to get their second win of this season. Adam Duffin will also be joined by assistant coach Maggie Lucas and the BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game. But without further ado, we're going to go to break here momentarily. But when we come back, Adam Duffin will take you away here for the second half action between BGSU women's basketball and Marquette. Don't go anywhere, listener. You're listening to women's basketball right here on Falcon Radio.
The Bowling Green women's soccer team wrapped up its 2025 season in the Mid-American Conference Championship Final, falling to Western Michigan at historic Crew Stadium. Under second-year head coach Chris Fox, the Falcons built their identity around grit, defense, and a possession-based style that led to a program record 13-match unbeaten streak. After clinching a tournament spot with a 3-1 win over UMass, BG beat Buffalo and Miami in back-to-back thrillers to reach the title match, including a 106-minute game winner from junior
Join
forward
the Zig Zone
Isabella
Sundays
Mazzaferro.
from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
The band is jamming. They're playing Let's Have a Good Night as the teams run back onto the court in a close matchup between Marquette and Bowling Green, 29-27. So far, leading the way for Marquette is Hallie Weiss and Lee Volker. Volker, the latter, with 2 3-pointers so far tonight. That's the only 2 that the team has. Now, for Bowling Green, they also have someone that is solely responsible for all their 3-pointers in Emily Cecil. She has 6 points in her 6 minutes. It came on back-to-back possessions. It'd be hard to imagine she doesn't have a role here in the second half with both offenses struggling. So far, Bowling Green has 7 turnovers to 11 field goals made. And for Marquette, 9 turnovers on 13 field goals made. A sloppy first half offensively. You can make the case good defense as well. It's been very physical. Both teams have been racking up foul calls. Bowling Green up to 9 with Taya Ellis, Jaden Cook both at 2 apiece, and Marquette up at 6. The second quarter they slowed it down on defense. Only 1 foul. For both teams so far, if you told them they were at 29 points or 27 at halftime, they would think they would be at a large deficit. Instead, it's a tight, contested matchup, despite the huge discrepancy in field goal percentage. Marquette right at the 50% mark, Bowling Green just above 34%. For the Falcons, they have Kaya Woods leading the way with 7 points. She's been very aggressive driving the basket. Once again, 5'3". Almost every time she steps on the court, she will be the smallest player, but she's been very aggressive. Only her second game this season as a Falcon and of this year due to a knee injury she had where she missed the games against South Carolina and Louisiana to open up the year. Both teams getting ready to come out of the half as it will be Tay Ellis, Kiera Miller, Jonea Donahue, Lauren Gherkin, and Paige Kohler, the 5 for the Falcons. Meanwhile, Lee Volker, Hallie Weiss, Skylar Forbes, Jaden Mason, and can't see the last player, but the ball is inbounded as it is Olivia Porter as the 5th player. Now Volker drives in, right side, underneath the basket, had her pass tipped. It swung around to Forbes, top of the key. Forbes driving, spins inside. Looked like she maybe traveled. Instead, she misses it short. Rebounded by Ellis. Ellis gives it up to Kohler. Kohler, dribble handoff to Gherkin on the wing. Kohler finds an open mid-range shot, just has it miss. As Kohler just missing a lot of her shots tonight. Volker brings it down the court quickly. It's swung around over to Porter. Porter looking for Forbes down low, guarded by the smaller Miller. Forbes continuing to back down on the right post, doesn't find anything, leads to Mason, wide open, top of the key for 3. Jaden Mason left all alone as the Falcons defense got confused, 32-27 with 9 in the 3rd quarter. Kohler uses a screen from Gherkin, doesn't find anything. Kohler on the left corner, gives it to Donahue. Donahue resets it, they swing it around. Kiera Miller driving, left elbow, fights for a shot down low and gets blocked away by Mason. Mason up to Volker. And Marquette with an easy block into a layup in transition. Now quickly down the floor, Donahue drives all the way by herself. The defense just led her right on by for an easy layup in response. 34-29 now with 8:20 to go. Now quickly driven to the basket by Mason. Mason missed that. Rebounded by Ellis. Given to Donahue, and Donahue left all alone as Skylar Forbes and Olivia Porter just didn't guard her. Back-to-back dimes down the floor for Jonea Donahue to get easy layups. She's leading this game, or leading the Falcons with 11. Not leading the game, as Hallie Weiss is still leading it with 12. Now the pace slows down a bit as Weiss hands it off to Mason. Mason to Forbes in the left wing. Tay Ellis closes out. Now pass down low to Weiss. Weiss double teamed by Miller and Gherkin. Gets it out to Porter. Porter trying to drive by Donahue. Eventually gets to the corner to Weiss. Weiss misses that 3-pointer. Rebounded by Kohler. Kohler now up to 6 rebounds. Gives it to Donahue towards the center of the elbow. Donahue spins, fights inside, thought she was maybe fouled. Instead, it's rebounded by Forbes as she jumped out of bounds to save it. Porter going down the floor, finds Mason in the right corner. Mason, easy pass down low. She finds Hallie Weiss, and Weiss now up to a game lead of 14 points. Shooting efficient 7 for 9. And now Coach Fred Shamil wants a timeout for the Falcons, and 36-31 with 7:04 left in this 3rd quarter. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll take a short break here as you're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
BG Women's Swim participates in the Magnus Cup Invitational at Busby Natatorium in Cleveland, Ohio on Thursday, November 20th through Saturday, November 22nd. Make sure to check out the recap of the event by Falcon Media Sports Network's Charlotte Beauvais on bgfalconmedia.com.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
After this game wraps up, more coverage continues online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Welcome back to Milwaukee as Marquette is leading Bowling Green 36-31 with just over 7 minutes to go as the teams head back on the court after the timeout by the Falcons. Janea Donahue leading the way with 11. And surprisingly, Paige Kohler on the night, 1 for 8 from the field, but leading the Falcons with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. So still finding other ways to make an impact, but it's been a poor shooting performance, only 35% for the Falcons, and they shot 40% against Wisconsin. They need to improve that here in this second half. Kiera Miller drives down the baseline and eventually gets shoved out of bounds, but they're going to say it's a turnover. Coach Shamil demanding an explanation. Not very happy right now. Volker gets it on the right wing. Forbes gets it. Swings it around. Left wing. Mason to the right corner. Volker backing down low against Fitzpatrick. Lee Volker finishes it strong down low with some good fundamentals. It's 38-31 Marquette. 6.5 to go. Kohler drives free throw line to Donahue. Donahue thinks about a three. Eventually lets it go. Hits the front iron and missed. Coach Shamil not happy with that one. Shaking his head. And now transition. Allie Weiss does a football-style pass down the court to Porter, and it sails out of bounds. Both teams struggling with turnovers so far. 10 for Marquette, 8 for Bowling Green. Kohler has it on the right wing, still looking for help. Falcons eventually do swing it around to Bland Fitzpatrick towards the top of the key. Still 13 on the shot clock. Donahue drives, elbow, kicks it out. Bland Fitzpatrick lets it go and misses off the front iron. Hard fought rebound down low by Taya Ellis. Taya Ellis gets hit, falls, gets her own rebound again, goes up and gets fouled. Taya Ellis battling down low all night, and there gets rewarded after 2 straight offensive rebounds. She'll earn herself a trip to the free throw line. Still scoreless on the night. 0 for 2 from the field, and it will be her first free throw attempts. Substitution on the floor as Jada Mason is subbed out for Jordan Melmans. And the first free throw is good for Ellis, and the second one is pure as well. 38-33 now with 5:50 to go in the third. Marquette leading. Porter looking for help on the left wing as she was guarded closely. Taya Ellis swatted away from Forbes and then fell over. Volker guarded closely on the right corner by Janea Donahue. Now switched on to Ellis. A lot of confusion defensively with only 5 to shot clock. Volker drives to the left side of the elbow, misses a mid-range shot, and rebounded by Donahue. Donahue passed through the seam to Kohler, and Kohler just couldn't grab it. Jumped up in frustration as the rough night continues. 2 points in 23 minutes for Paige Kohler. A rare sight in her BG career. And now Kiera Miller subbed out for Kaya Woods. Woods going back to what she was doing throughout the first half, guarding Porter in the backcourt. Eventually they get it up to Melmans. Melmans to Volker. Volker, free throw line, backing down Kohler. Tries to go underneath, and she does get fouled. We'll see if they call it on Kohler. No, they call it on Taya Ellis. Taya Ellis picks up her third foul. Coach Shamil looks towards his bench, and he will make a sub as Emily Cecil will check into the game. Cecil will be in for Donahue as they will roll the dice on Taya Ellis with her 3 fouls. 5 fouls gets you out of the game in college basketball as Volker hits the first free throw. She's up to 13 on the night. Her second one is also good as that makes it 40-33. Marquette on top with 5 to go in the third. Kaya Woods brings it up the floor, 7 points so far in her 13 minutes. She drives towards the right baseline, gives it back out to Kohler. Kohler, top of the key, thought about a shot. There's a little give and go action with Ellis in the paint. Couldn't get it going. Kohler was looking to give it to Kaya Woods. Instead, there's a foul underneath. They're going to say Volker was grabbing Taya Ellis down low when she was posting up. And we will have a media timeout here in the Al McGuire Center. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, proud creators of Isle Ziggy Zumba, a light ale made in collaboration with BG Athletics and available at Juniper Brewing Company on South Main Street and Northwest Ohio Kroger stores. Details at juniperbrew.com. We'll be back. Marquette 40-33 over Bowling Green. You're listening to BG Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Unlike other local sources, Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media will never charge a paywall to view our content. However, if you are looking to support student media, you can donate at the bottom of our stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcon women's basketball continues the beginning of their season with a road matchup against Marquette on Friday, November 14th. Tune in to Falcon Media Sports Network's Adam Duffin on the call for tip-off at 7:30 p.m. Lucas Kleinmeyer, Sam Bork, and Trey Kennedy will have the in-studio pregame, halftime, and postgame show all beginning at 7:05 p.m. On Falcon Radio, streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Welcome back as Bowling Green will have the basketball. Paige Kohler inbounding from underneath the basket on the right side. Gives it all the way to half court to Kaya Woods. Woods drives right. Gives it to Kohler. Kohler using the screen from Blaine Fitzpatrick. Drives hard to the left side of the basket. Couldn't get that one to go, was looking for a foul. Down low, Layla Harrison gets called for one, trying to fight for the rebound, and Coach Shamil, all night long, he has not been happy with the calls down low, demanding an explanation from the referee. And all night long, Kaya Woods has been pressuring Olivia Porter in the backcourt. And offensive foul on Porter as she armbarred Kaya Woods. Another offensive foul on Marquette tonight. As with only 4:17 left in the third, it's 40-33. Much lower scoring than both these teams had in the last game they played. Woods inbounds it, or gives it to Harrison in the middle. Harrison, they swing it around. Kohler, mid-range shot, thought about it, didn't shoot it. She was open. Fitzpatrick drives to the middle of the lane and hits a nice floater. Coach Shamil still not happy, though. It seems Kohler had a wide open shot from about 5 feet and didn't shoot it. But nonetheless, the Falcons do score and make it 40-35 now. Volker picked up her dribble, gives it out to Weiss. Weiss looking for help. And she eventually gets it from Lee Volker, giving it right back to her for a cut down the lane. 42-35 Marquette. Kaya Woods drives down the floor, has her shot blocked by Forbes, as she continues to try to push the tempo for the Falcons and give this offense a jolt. And now Janaea Donahue subbed in for Emily Cecil. Falcons 14 of 43 on the night. As Donahue inbounds it right corner. Kohler drives, middle of the lane, left-handed, tough layup, falling to the floor. Paige Kohler gets it going again, her second bucket of the night. Quickly in transition, though, left wide open was Melmans, but she misses. Donahue gets it down the floor off the pass and scores. Joniah Bland-Fitzpatrick kept her head up the floor, and it leads to Donahue getting another easy layup. Porter in the right corner, gave it to Forbes. Forbes driving on Harrison, spins into the double team, kicks it out. Melmans, left corner, picked up her dribble in a bad spot, gets help from Forbes. Forbes with 10 on the shot clock, has the ball tipped away by Harrison. Porter, top of the key, 5 seconds now. Volker fakes, drives, mid-range shot, hits it over Donahue. And now timeout by Marquette, as it is 44-39 with 2:37 to go. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll be back after this timeout. You're listening to Falcon Women's Basketball on WBGU, or Falcon Radio, Falcon Radio.
On October 4th, 2024, BGSU volleyball opposite hitter Lauren Hovey recorded her 115th career service ace in BG's comeback reverse sweep of Western Michigan, passing Paige Penrod for the most in program history during the rally scoring era. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call of the historic moment on WB.
At the Stro or on the road, the Falcon Media Sports Network is covering the Falcons all season.
Kaya Woods brings it up the floor after the inbound by Donahue. 44-39 Marquette leading Bowling Green with only 2:30 to go in the third quarter. Kohler drives, right elbow, slips. Got it to Woods. Woods, Kohler in the right corner. Nothing but air on that one as Kohler continues to struggle from outside tonight. Volker gets the rebound to Melmans, all the way up to Mason. Mason drove towards the right elbow, didn't shoot it. Gives it to Forbes on the left corner. Skylar Forbes shoots over Kaya Woods. A foot difference in height. No chance for her to defend there, as it's 47-39 Marquette. Forbes up to 7 points on the night. Donahue drives, top of the key, decides to take it back out. 12 on the shot clock. Donahue charges towards the right side of the lane. Has the ball tipped away from her. Will go out of bounds, as there was good hands underneath by Jaden Mason. 8 seconds on the shot clock with 1:37 to go in this third quarter. Kaya Woods inbounding from almost essentially the right corner. And we'll have quick stoppage as they clean up a wet spot on the floor. Woods throws it all the way towards half court to Donahue. It's swatted away and stolen by the Golden Eagles, and 3 Golden Eagles down the floor with no BG defender in sight. Hallie Weiss finds the wide open Jaden Mason. It's 49-39 with 1:20 in this third. Kohler lobs it in the corner to Woods, gets it right back in the corner. Woods taking her time, 12 on the shot clock. Coach Shamil drawing up a play. Woods kicks it to Donahue. Donahue drives, middle of the lane, takes some contact, tough shot, doesn't get it. No foul called. Forbes gets the rebound and dribbles it down the floor. Cross-court pass in the corner to Melmans, and it's a turnover. As Donahue had fallen to the floor, it was a 5-on-4 for Marquette, but the pass is missed. Marquette does have a 10-point lead, but it still has not been a pretty night offensively, at least in the turnover department. They're shooting 54% from the field, but that's due to 12 turnovers. You don't have as many shot opportunities then. Bowling Green not doing much better in that category as they have 10 turnovers on the night. Kaya Woods gets the inbound. And Bland Fitzpatrick and Jasmine Fern set up for screens up top. Woods drives past Mason, gets to the right elbow, looking for help, gives it to Cecil. Cecil, dribble handoff to Fern. Fern back to Cecil, launches a three. Cecil misses. Tough rebound, Fern and Weiss fight for it, and Weiss wins that battle. Dribbling in the backcourt, Weiss looking for help, almost a 10-second violation. Gets it across the floor. Cecil guarding Mason all the way towards the right corner of half court. Mason crossed over towards the center of the court. Now guarded by Fern. 8 seconds on the shot clock, 10 in the game. Now Cecil was down low, helped with Woods. As Weiss got a pass down low, they foul. Not much they could do. Huge height disadvantage there. As Weiss, 6'1", compared to Woods at 5'3", and Cecil at 5'6". Weiss will head to the free throw line and hits the first one. Not in the bonus. They say she did make a shot attempt as soon as she got the ball. And her second free throw is also good. 51-39 Marquette. 8.7 remaining. The Falcons need a big shot to end this quarter. Kohler gets the ball in the backcourt. Guarded closely by Utberg, her first minute in the game. 1 second in the quarter. Kohler drives hard, fouled, and one. Paige Kohler. And there's going to be an official review. The shot was initially waved off, but it appears they're going to talk through this one as the referees immediately, it appeared, disagree with each other. But no matter what, it should end the quarter. But we'll stay here just in case if Kohler does have to shoot a free throw. I believe the initial signal was a potential charge, but the defender might have been in the restricted area. It was close down low, a lot of traffic, and they're going to talk with Coach Shamil right now. He's getting an explanation from referee Bruce Morris, and they will come back onto the floor. And they're calling it an offensive foul on Paige Kohler. Coach Shamil is beside himself right now, as they will put .6 on the shot clock, waive the layup or and one opportunity for Kohler. Marquette gets it in, no time at all. And that will end our third quarter here in Milwaukee. Marquette leading Bowling Green 51-39. You're listening to Falcon Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Bowling Green Volleyball wraps up their regular season on Saturday, November 15th on the road against Buffalo. Make sure to join Falcon Media Sports Network's Volleyball Beat, Andrew Smith, on the call of the match beginning at 3:45 p.m. for pregame and at 4 p.m. for the first serve on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Welcome back. Marquette leading Bowling Green 51-39 as we are about to head into the fourth quarter. The Falcons currently shooting 16 of 48. That is a 33% clip, and only 2 of 16 from beyond the arc. Both those threes were by Emily Cecil. On the other side of things, Marquette shooting almost 54%. You rarely see a 20% discrepancy in field goal percentage, but we have that here in Milwaukee tonight. Leading the way is Hallie Weiss, 18 points and shooting a very efficient 8 for 10. Meanwhile, for Bowling Green, Janea Donahue has 13 points for the Falcons. We head back here to start the fourth. The Falcons will have the ball as Kaya Woods trots to inbound the ball to Kohler. Kohler receives it in the backcourt. Gives it back to Woods. Donahue immediately goes to the scorer's table. Woods try to pass it to Fern. Fern dives for the ball after it was tipped. As Bridget Utberg, played the final minute of that third quarter to be a help on defense here. Tips it, and the possession arrow on the jump ball goes the Golden Eagles' way. Quick turnover for the Falcons, not the way they wanted to start that fourth quarter, as Porter is guarded closely by Woods on the perimeter, still looking to get it to someone. She does get to Volker eventually. Volker crosses over a couple times towards the top of the key, eventually gets it inside. Sharia Smith misses that layup as it rattled in and out. Rebounded by Taya Ellis. Kaya Woods dribbles it down the floor, hand off to Kohler. Kohler drives strong, left-hand layup, has it blocked away by Olivia Porter. Kohler, towards the end of that third and the final second of the quarter, she was called for a charging foul on what would have been an and one. Now she gets in the left corner on the inbound. She hits the three. Paige Kohler breaks out of the shooting slump and hits her first from beyond the arc here. Cuts it back to 9-point deficit. Quickly up the floor, Volker passes it to Forbes in the left corner. Forbes guarded by Taya Ellis, both wearing number 11. Porter got a handoff, both teams switching a lot on those handoffs, and a tough foul down low as Forbes was hit hard by Donahue. Forbes is fine, it gets up. Donahue was trying to come off of a screen, it looked like, and got there too late. Forbes yet to shoot a free throw tonight. She has 7 points on 3 for 9 shooting, one of those a three-pointer. Here, her first free throw is good. Forbes had 4 points last season against Bowling Green, has 8 here tonight. Much better performance than last time around. She missed the second free throw, and the Falcons bring it up the floor, down 52-42 with 8:35 to go in the fourth. Donahue, top of the key, guarded by Mason, gives it up, and there's a foul away from the play. Jasmine Fern looked like she was about to have an open three, but Forbes ran right through Taya Ellis and picks up the foul. Falcons would have hoped, honestly, for a no call there. Fern had some space on the right wing. Kaya Woods will inbound underneath. She gives it to Kohler in the right corner. Has her three-pointer blocked by Forbes. Quickly up the floor. Volker behind the back move away from Woods. Pass in the right corner. Mason drives baseline and hits her layup as she got right by Fern. A quick move and foul on Mason as she hit Kaya Woods in the eye, it appeared, in transition. Woods gets up, but she got the inbound, and Mason immediately hit her in the eye. She's talking with the referee. She says she's okay. Talking it over with Donahue as well. Donahue wearing a mask, so maybe giving her some advice. Coach Shamil says right down the middle for where he wants this screen to be set. Fern gets the pass off the screen, doesn't have anything going. Kohler gets it, they swing it around to Donahue. Left wing, Donahue drives again towards the top of the key, only 10 seconds. Donahue drives, left elbow to the left wing to Fern. Fern misses that three. Tough rebound, Ellis and Forbes got tangled up. It's eventually handled by Volker. Volker to Mason, leaves Forbes open to the top of the key. Skylar Forbes hits from beyond the arc, and Marquette up 15 now, 57-42, 7:30 to go in this fourth. Falcons running out of time. Fern gives it to Kohler. Kohler drives towards the center of the lane, goes hard, and has her shot blocked away. Hallie Weiss. That ball goes underneath. And timeout is called by Fred Shamil. Won't be a full timeout here, so we'll stay with you. As Paige Kohler still struggling tonight, 3 for 15 from the field, 1 of 7 from beyond the arc in her 30 minutes of play, 7 points. But she still remains the leader in rebounds with 6 and in assists with 2. The Falcons only 6 assists on the night as a team. Meanwhile, Marquette has 19. A big discrepancy there is just the fast break opportunities that Marquette's giving themselves. As the 15-point difference, you can almost attribute to that alone. Multiple times, Bowling Green, whether they score or not, have not gone back on defense. And that has fueled Marquette to go on some runs, as they have gone on a 6-0 run in the past minute and a half of play. Bowling Green is out-rebounding Marquette 30-27. But it doesn't matter too much if you're out-rebounding a team, if you're just not making your shots. Still just at 32% to Marquette's almost 55%. It's just been a shooting slump today and on Wednesday against Wisconsin. Once again, that was only 40% mark. You're not going to win a lot of games when you have that tough of a time shooting from the field. For the Falcons, though, a bright spot has been Janea Donahue once again. 13 points, 6 of 10 from the field in her 22 minutes of play. As consistent as a player on this roster so far this season for the Falcons. Meanwhile, Marquette, Hallie Weiss has 18 points on 8 of 10 shooting, continuing her great night, and Lee Volker has 16 on 6 of 11 shooting. Along with that, Skylar Forbes has 11 points, knocking down 2 triples, as the taller players from Marquette have been able to efficiently move the ball with each other as well. It's led to those open shots from beyond the arc. And now we head out of this timeout. Coach Ramil continues having talks with the referees. It will be Taya Ellis inbounding the ball on the right side underneath the basket. Gives it immediately to Fern. Fern to Woods. Donahue, right wing, stops her dribble, gives it to Kohler. Kohler passes to Woods. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Woods Step back from near half court. Shot clock ran out, and it fell short as the Falcons, the frustrations continue there. It seemed like none of the players on offense were aware that the shot clock was running down as Volker has the ball left wing. 7 minutes to go, 57-42 Marquette. Forbes drives right side, handoff to Mason. Kaya Woods was there to meet her. Swing across to the left wing. Volker left open and rattles it in from beyond the arc. Once again, a pass through some traffic. And Marquette now has their largest lead of the night of 18. Donahue drives to the left side, gets fouled as she goes up. She'll get a trip to the free throw line. Donahue made her only free throw of the night earlier after an and one. Wednesday, she was a perfect 8 for 8. And they need the free throws here. Only 6 free throws so far tonight attempted, and the 7th one is no good from Donahue. 18-point deficit with 6:39. And a 9-0 run in these last 2 minutes for Marquette. Donahue does make the second one, nothing but nylon there. Porter will bring it up the floor. Donahue looking to try to maybe get a steal. Falcons will need to score quickly. Porter drives left side of the lane, gets fouled as she went up by Taya Ellis. And they actually say it's Kaya Woods, so it's her 3rd foul. And Ellis is also at 3. No subs will be made. It will be Olivia Porter at the line. 1 for 2 so far, and that's her only basket. Doesn't have any other form of a shot attempt as she hits the first one off the front of the rim. Second free throw is good. 61-43 now Marquette. And Kohler almost lost it out of bounds. She did lose it. Kaya Woods tried to throw it back in. Instead, it goes right to Jaden Mason. A bad turnover there leads to a Marquette score. Now the deficit at 20. Kohler gives it to Fern in the right wing. Now to Woods. Woods drives through the middle of the lane. It went off the foot of Kaya Woods. And Woods is looking around. She's talking to Olivia Porter, and they're laughing with each other. Porter, I think, knows it went off her foot, but no challenge will be had. Woods is subbed out for Kiera Miller. Miller guarding Porter closely all the way down the floor. Gets screened. Ellis will switch on. Now a pass down low as Volker got the leverage on Kohler and fights through contact of Fern to finish from the left side. Fern gets it down the floor, gives it back to Miller on the left wing. Gives it to Donahue. Donahue, right elbow. Looking for a back cut to Kohler, doesn't have it. Kohler looking to make a pass down low. Donahue gets it, runs into Tay Ellis. Miller, top of the key for 3, and Kiera Miller hits from beyond the arc. Her first basket of the night, as she was 0 for 3 from beyond the arc before that one. 65-46. Marquette up with 5:12 to go in the 4th. Porter gives it to Volker in the left wing. Volker looking for Forbes down low. Forbes doesn't have the leverage. Pass is tipped by Miller, but Volker gets it. Mason has it. 7 seconds on the clock. Drives, has her shot blocked with authority by Taya Ellis. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. The Falcons have had a better defensive game overall. Marquette does have a high field goal percentage of about 57%, but they have forced 12 turnovers. The inbound is tipped as they try to fix the clock. .457 left here, and Mason will get the inbound. Passes inside. Volker kicks it out. Mason, right wing, drives baseline, finds Volker inside. Volker fights through multiple Bowling Green defenders and gets it in. Tay Ellis and Donahue were down low. Donahue drives, does a little fake, and goes up hard and gets fouled. Donahue continuing to be aggressive for Bowling Green. The Falcons down 21, largest deficit of the night. And much different than last game. These will be the 9th and 10th free throws attempts for Bowling Green. Donahue swishes the first free throw as she continues to move up. The lead for points for Bowling Green. She's up to 15 now. No one else on the team has more than 7, and she hits the second one.
Checking into Bowling Green 0, Linda Harrison.
Volker gets the inbound and brings it up the floor, guarded by Bland Fitzpatrick. Now Fitzpatrick will switch on to Porter, who gives it back to Volker. Volker down low. Weiss gets it, saves it from going out of bounds to Forbes. Pass in the lane, almost stolen away by Miller. Instead, Mason has it. 8 on the shot clock. It's tipped away by Bland Fitzpatrick. Now Kohler gets the ball, throws it all the way up the floor, and Bland Fitzpatrick will get a trip to the free throw line. A good pass up the floor.
Marquette foul number 2, Jaden Mason Porter.
Falcons now move into the bonus. First free throw is good as Bland Fitzpatrick moves up to 6 points in the night. 18 minutes of play so far. The second free throw no good, off the left iron and rebounded by Volker. Volker, little handoff to Mason. The Falcons playing very aggressive defense. They know they have to force some turnovers to have a shot here. Down 18 with 4 to go. Porter to Mason on the right wing. Mason drives, tried to swing it around inside, and it's tipped out of bounds. Weiss almost had it, but Layla Harrison helped swat it away. Now inbound underneath the right side of the basket. Forbes gets it, trucks through Kiara Miller, and that will be an offensive foul. As Miller was backing up Forbes, almost gave her a stiff arm like it was football. Jaden Cook comes in the game for Taya Ellis, and Jasmine Fern will come in for Bland Fitzpatrick. Kohler will be the one to bring it up the floor now. Kohler tosses inside to Cook. Cook, right elbow, hand off to Fern. Fern thought about a 3, gives it back to Cook. Cook makes some moves inside, went to her right hand and missed it. Rebounded by Mason, given to Volker. Volker to Porter in the corner, and Sharia Smith had it in the middle and travels as it was a held ball. Still an 18-point deficit with 3:21 to go. The Falcons, they do have people that can shoot from beyond the arc, but so far tonight it just hasn't clicked. Still trying to get it going. Paige Kohler drives, gave it to Miller. Miller towards the right elbow, gives it back. Falcons continue to do some handoffs. 10 on the shot clock. Kohler drives, had it stolen away. Weiss gives it up to Mason. Mason drives left side, took it all the way around to the corner before giving it to Sharia Smith, who hits from about 18 feet out. 69-49. 2:40 to go. Fern has it. Drives to her right. Continues over to the right wing to Kohler. Kohler from beyond the arc misses that one. Cook held down low. As it was Jada Bidiaco that held Cook as she went for the rebound. Bidiaco has played in limited fashion so far for the Golden Eagles. And Cook's first free throw is good. Cook gets her first point of the game. Has only played 7 minutes so far. She racked up 2 fouls as soon as she subbed into the game earlier and makes the second one as well. Cook will be taken out for Sophia Moskane. Moskane came to BG last year in the spring semester, red-shirted. And now Kira Miller was guarding Utberg. Utberg slipped, lost control. Harrison got the ball, gave it to Moskane, who gave it to Donahue. Donahue drives to the right corner, gives it to Moskane. Moskane from the right wing. Sophia Moskane hits from beyond the arc. Her first three-pointer in the orange and brown. And now a foul on the other end by Kiera Miller. And Moskane, her triple is one of only 5 all night for the Falcons. As it's 69-54, minute 55 remaining. Utberg has the ball, drives to her left, goes all the way to the basket, misses that one. Rebounded down low by Smith. Smith fights off a couple defenders. Melmans, top of the key, misses that 3. Another offensive rebound, and it's saved in the corner by Utberg. Thrown back into play, out of bounds, Bowling Green basketball. The Falcons survive a couple offensive rebounds in a row as Cecil will give it to Miller. Miller to Donahue. Donahue drives strong. Goes towards the right block, just misses that one. Moskane tipped it out. Donahue got it back again. Looks for help. Finds Cecil, top of the key. Emily Cecil just missed it. And Moskane was fouled down low by Bidiaco. In the bonus now, as Bowling Green will have Moskane take a trip to the free throw line. Moskane, 6'2", out of Brazil. Played in some FIBA championships as a teenager. Misses the first free throw as it swirls out. Second free throw also misses, and Kaya Woods can't get the rebound. Now down 15, a minute and 5. Falcons continue to guard closely. It's passed inside. Kaya Woods swats it away with help defense as Bidiaco couldn't haul it in. Cecil will come away with it down the floor. Gives it to Woods. Woods to Miller. Miller left wing. Misses it off the backboard. Rebounded, taken down the floor now. Herring gives it to Bidiaco. Bidiaco over to Utberg. Utberg's driving strong with her left. Finds Smith. Smith hits another one from mid-range. 71-54, 33 seconds left. Woods gets it up quickly. Moskane takes it, top of the key, gives it to Miller. Miller to Cecil. Cecil drives, brings it back out. Now towards the right elbow. Hand off to Woods. Woods continues to hand it right back off to Cecil. Only 15 seconds left. Woods, little wraparound pass to Harrison. Harrison down low. Nice little move, got fouled by Bidiaco. Fans aren't happy with the call, but it's 71-54 with only 9.5 to remain. After the game, we'll be joined by assistant coach Maggie Lucas and our BG Food and Drink Guide Player of the Game, Jonea Donahue. First free throw is missed by Harrison. And the second one is good. Harrison now up to 3 points on the night. Inbounded, the Falcons will have no chance here. And the clock will run out here at Al McGuire Center. Marquette 71, Bowling Green 55. Stay tuned for our interviews post-game and for our studio show of Lucas Kleinmeyer, Trey Kennedy, and Sam Bork. You're listening to Falcon Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Falcon Media Sports Network will have an in-studio pregame show for all football broadcasts this season, beginning approximately 25 minutes before the kickoff for each game. Make sure to tune in on Falcon Radio for our newly extended coverage.
Back here in the Cooling Center, here in the Falcon Radio studios, final score, Marquette defeats Bowling Green 71-55. Bowling Green women's basketball suffer their third straight loss of this season and go to 1-3, while Marquette goes to 3-1. Lucas Kleinmeyer alongside Trey Kennedy, Sam Borg with you. Adam Duffin will have assistant coach Maggie Lucas and Jonea Donahue post-game, but we're going to recap what we saw here in this one, fellas. And I think for Bowling Green, I don't think you feel as good about this one as you did probably losing after Wisconsin.
No.
It's a game that you were excited about how you performed against Wisconsin, knowing that Wisconsin was down 3-0 in the loss to Marquette. And you were thinking to yourself, we have a shot at coming away victorious, or at least making it a closer game. And it was quite the opposite, especially in that second half, after only scoring 16 points in the second half.
Yeah, and that was just really, the experience of this Marquette team, the continuity of them coming into this season, really on display there in that second half. You had, 4 of the players there in double figures there. Volker obviously leading the charge there with 23 points. She is just such a dangerous player for them, and we saw that last season. She led the team in scoring against them in their game last season there. But you also had a great game over there from Hallie Weiss, who we're not used to talking about her from the scoring side. She went off for 18 points there and only 3 rebounds there. So kept her quiet in the rebound department, but then she attacked you with her scoring ability. So yeah, just a very bad half there. Very bad shooting performance from the Falcons there. 5 for 24 from 3, 21% there, 32% from the field. It's just been the talk of the season so far for this team and their shooting ability, especially with Paige Kohler going very quiet there with 3 and 16 from the field. Just not what you want to see from your leader in this game.
Yeah, you have Vice 18, Forbes 11, Mason 11, and Volker had a game high of 23. So you had 4 in double figures, just 1 for Bowling Green. And I think you bring up a good point there. Not a good shooting night there from Kohler, but really, though, nobody else really kind of stepped up scoring offensively.
Yeah, and then if you look at what Bowling Green did, they were fine bench-wise, having 27 bench points. And again, you have to combat that when your starting lineup is not scoring. We mentioned it earlier, Kohler. But points in the paint, Marquette scored 36 points in the paint compared to Bowling Green's 26. And that was just a huge. They also had 9 blocks compared to Bowling Green's 4, 10 steals compared to Bowling Green's 5. So they were just one step ahead from Bowling Green all night long.
Yeah, and the big difference there also in the assists category. Marquette had 24, BG only had 8, so not great ball movement there, obviously. You're not really able to score the ball well against this team, and they were really just shutting them down all game, and it was very hard for this Bowling Green offense to produce any offense.
We'll take a quick step aside, and we'll come back and we'll dive into more about Bowling Green's defeat against Marquette. You're listening to the post-game show here on Falcon Radio.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Cooling Center, Falcon Radio, we're still waiting for assistant coach Maggie Lucas and player of the game, Janae Donahue, alongside Adam Duffin. I'm Lucas Kleinmeyer with Trey Candy and Sam Borg here in the Falcon Radio studio. Guys, we talked a little bit about reason why Bowling Green didn't come away with victorious tonight. Shooting, obviously, a big part of it as well. What else did you guys kind of see that Marquette was able to do?
Well, again, it begins with Bowling Green starting fast, and that was non-existent today to begin the game. And for Bowling Green to come away strong and quick in the scoring department, they've got to start fast. And so moving forward, that has got to be a decision and ultimately just a focus for this group going forward. They've got to start quick. They got to start fast. And it begins with their players taking advantage of the game. Donahue played great, but Kohler has also got to be effective. Lauren Gherkin, 0 points on the night. That is unacceptable for her, especially coming out early in the season with a double-double. So players like this has got to step up for this offense.
Yeah, and, the defense, too, with this team. That's like the one thing they wanted to establish as their identity. Yeah. And so far this season, that has not been the case at all. Marquette has come out 57% from the field, 40% from three. That's just, not what you want to see as a, defensive-minded team, especially in the turnovers department. You kept them, 17 turnovers there. You had one more there than the Falcons there, but only 14 points off turnovers, not being able to capitalize off of those. Just not what you want to see there. And, yeah, just with the shooting, obviously, Marquette obviously knew Paige Culler well from the last game. They were able to really key in on her, focus on her, and get stops on her and really make her have a difficult game there, and they succeeded well in that category.
I'm glad you brought defensively because I'll be interested to hear what Maggie Lucas and Donnie had to say post-game, because that's what kind of Hempling and Nate touched on Wednesday was that defensive effort, especially in the second half. You look at the second half, they gave up 42 points in the second half after they only held them to 29. I mean, that's got to be disappointing, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Really just, and, I'm not really sure what, obviously Marquette has made some adjustments in that halftime, and Bowling Green was unable to really have any answer there for them.
Especially when coming into the season, Fred Shamil stressed being aggressive defensively and not allowing opposing offenses for that matter, to score. And giving up 42 points is just not what he had in mind, especially against the Marquette team.
And then you even look offensively. I mean, you scored 27 the first, just 20 in the second. I mean, yeah, it wasn't a good offensive shooting night, but you didn't really see any big improvement in that in the second half. And a lot of it, might have been for their shot selection, but also might have just been as a collective. No one really stepped out outside of Donahue.
Yeah, and they shot much worse against Marquette than they did against Wisconsin. So I don't know if it's road to fatigue. What they're doing off the field, off the court is not working, but having said that, the struggles has got to stop.
Yeah, and you obviously, you talk about bringing up the fatigue there. Obviously, it's been a very tough, long road trip for these Falcons. They've been away from home the entirety of this season, so lots of travel there, and practices, and all these games they're playing against these tough opponents. It could really wear you down there, but still you got to overcome that adversity, overcome that fatigue, and just play better.
All right, we got Adam Duffin standing aside with Coach. Adam, take it away.
Well, we're actually here with Emily Cecil, our player of the game. BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide provides the latest food and drink specials from local restaurants. You can find it on our homepage, bgfalconmedia.com, or simply go to our top navigation, mouse over life, and click on food and drink. Emily, obviously not the result you guys wanted, but at one point in the game, you guys were able to get it kick-started. That was by your back-to-back triples. How do you seem to find more consistency on offense going forward?
Yeah, I think just my teammates making good reads. Paige had a good push up the floor, and I was able to get that second one off. So I think just offensively we need to stick to what we do best. We got to run the floor hard, and ultimately that'll translate into what we want, and good things will happen from there.
Now, a big focus throughout practice was the rotations on defense, and tonight there was more of that, especially at times you got in there and got fouled trying to fight for position. Just how important was that to become more physical tonight and play harder?
Yeah, definitely. When we're playing against bigger physical teams, we have to make sure that our defensive rotations are on point. And I think we did a good job when we did get to fronting them. We were able to make them turn it over, so we need to get to that every time. But I think we can definitely do better on defense and still work on some of those rotations and force them into more contested shots.
Now, last question. Next week, you still are on the road. You go all the way to Alaska. What is kind of your mindset heading for another long road trip?
Yeah, long road trip. We just got to prepare. We've been on the road these past 2 weeks now, so we know what to expect. But we just need to go there. We need to be prepared, lock into our scout, and ultimately we want to come out with 2 wins.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us. You're our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game, and best of luck next week in Alaska.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we'll take a short break as assistant coach Maggie Lucas, as Emily Cecil will look for her. So Cecil on the night had 6 points, 2-4 from beyond the arc. But we'll throw it to you guys quickly in the studio.
Thanks, Adam. I got to hear there a little bit from Emily, guys. Emily Cecil playing a little bit of a big role in the game, at least defensively, had a couple big threes in that first half. To kind of kickstart something offensively for Bowling Green, something that we didn't see them a whole lot, but I think what she said there was pretty accurate. I mean, they kind of have to come together collectively as a team and regroup and get ready for these next couple of games.
Yeah, of course. When Cecil came in that second quarter, had back-to-back awesome three-point shots to put Bowling Green in a position to maybe cap off.
Indeed it is. Adam is now joined by assistant coach Maggie Lucas. We'll take it over to them in Milwaukee. Adam and Coach, take it away.
Joined once again now by assistant coach Maggie Lucas. Obviously, difficult night. Offensively, you only shot 31.7%. How do you find more consistency going forward with the offense?
Yeah, we're going to make some adjustments. It's just, trying to find our rhythm a little bit right now. And that's been a little difficult for us, but we'll get it going. But we're going to, make some adjustments and get this right.
On a positive end, defensively, it looked like the intensity was picked up. 17 turnovers forced on the night. How encouraging was to see that part of the game at least switch for the team?
Yeah, we did some good things when we, attacked our game plan. When we got to front in the post, they turned it over. When we didn't do that, that's when we had issues. But yeah, there were some moments of some good stuff. We just gotta start pulling more of those moments together.
Now, talking about pulling those moments together, you have some time before you head to Alaska next week. What's the game plan to attack and try to fix some of these problems you're having?
Yeah, just got to work on us. We're going to get it right.
Okay, well, thank you to assistant coach Maggie Lucas for joining us in the post game, and we will send it back to the studio to end this post game show.
Thank you, Adam, once again. And it's not always fun to talk after a defeat whatsoever. Maggie Lucas now twice having to come talk to us after a defeat, which is unfortunate. And I think you can, again, it's similar to what it was Wednesdays, I think, with Katie Hempfling and Donahue. You hear the frustration in their face. They're disappointed. You don't want to lose any game. And it is non-conference, and this is the time you can experiment and try to figure out formations and substitution tactics and, kind of like what your pattern is, what you want to be. I still think offensively, I think you can hear they're making some adjustments. Obviously, you didn't want to disclose what those were, but wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit different look offensively for the next game.
Ultimately, it's important that they learn from these mistakes early on, that the way they can combat those weaknesses and make them strengths ultimately in MAC play when it really matters. Yes, you don't want to lose these games, but if you can clean these mistakes up, if your offense can obviously get going in the weeks to come, it's only going to help you in the MAC play.
Yeah, obviously it's learning experiences with these tough opponents to really figure out what's going to work for you, what's not going to work for you when you go into conference play, and just tough games all around for them, but really formidable opponents there. So it's just good on them for having a fight and going up against these tough opponents, showing that they're not afraid to take on the tougher opponents and just not getting the results you want there.
Indeed. We'll take a quick step aside one final time. When we come back, we'll go look at the scores around the MAC and give our final thoughts on today's contest. Don't go anywhere. Listening to the BGSU Women's Basketball post-game show here on Falcon Radio.
The Zig Zone, Falcon Media Sports Network's weekly radio show dedicated to BGSU athletics, has a new segment. Make sure to tune into the show every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. to listen to the one-on-one segment, where Holden Ruck will interview a key figure in BGSU athletics.
Join the Zig Zone Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here one final time here in the Cooling Center here for our BGSU Women's Basketball post-game show. Marquette defeats the Falcons 71-55, hands Bowling Green their third straight loss, while the Golden Eagles pick up their third straight win. Lucas Kleinmeyer, Sam Bork, and Trey Kennedy alongside with you here to wrap this one up. But before we give our final thoughts on the game, Sam, you have some scores for us for around the MAC?
Yeah, so Kent State able to pull off the win against Xavier 68-60. You had 16 points from Maya Babbitt, 14 from Corin Hauser there, leading the way for the Golden Flashes. So big win for those guys or those girls there. And then Eastern Michigan just tipped off the fourth quarter. They are up by 5 currently, 36-31 on St. Thomas in Minnesota there. So that one should be over soon. Bit of a low scoring there,
Yeah.
But some good action in the MAC tonight.
Yeah, indeed it is. And if you still got a bit before Mid-American Conference play, Falcons open up on December 20th against the conference favorites, preseason favorites, Kent State at the Stroh Center. Still got a couple games in Alaska and a bunch of non-conference games at the Stroh Center when they finally get back home at the end of November and beginning of December. And going back to this game, fellas, I think we spoke on it pretty much. Is there anything else that really stood out to you in this game and why Bowling Green wasn't able to come away with a victory tonight?
One thing that I don't think we mentioned at all post-game yet, Bowling Green was 12 of 18 from the free throw line. If you're going to be down in this game, missing 6 free throws is crucial. Obviously, it wouldn't help Bowling Green ultimately win, but when you're down so much, those free throws ultimately are so crucial in allowing you to continue to put points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and that's really where they excelled most in this season so far. And, a bit of a rare mishaps there from the free throw line. And, yeah, you need to take, all the points as much as you can whenever you can get them. And, yeah, missing from the free throw there is just not going to help you out there at all.
Indeed, it's not. And one other thing I want to talk about before we sign off is I think we also talked about the rebounding with the teams. And I thought Bowling Green did that pretty well tonight. I don't think there was anything that different, but was there anything, did it affect second chance points? Did it affect, second, maybe third chance? I mean, what did you guys see from that area?
I mean, they were able to limit the second chance points for Marquette. they only had 4 second chance points there, and BG was really able to offensive rebound well. They had 11, but that only amounted to 12 second chance points. So they got the offensive rebounds, but they weren't able to get a better second look there. So you really have to improve on that going forward. But, just with Marquette's paint presence, really made it tough for this Bowling Green team to excel in the paint there.
And obviously Marquette wants to score in the paint. That's what they do best. So going into the game, Bowling Green knew that. And allowing 36 points in the paint is hard to combat when they only scored 26 on the Falcons side. So all that considered, Bowling Green just has to figure out what they want to do offensively and be aggressive on defense, but not give up big plays.
Indeed. Any final thoughts before I wrap this one up? Say, guys, we're on radio. I can't. You gotta talk in the mic. Shaking my head at me. Yes. All good, guys. All right. Well,
we've seen enough here.
So that's going to do it for us here. Before we sign off, big thing to Adam Duffin, who's on the call for this game, my studio analyst, Trey Kennedy, Sam Bork here in studio. Reminders, Falcon Volleyball finishes off the regular season and trying to get into the MAC tournament tomorrow at 4 p.m. on WBGU. Andrew Smith will be on the call for that game. A win and an Akron loss against Toledo would put them in the 6th and final spot in the MAC tournament next week, which will be at the Stroh Center in Bowling Green. Men's basketball in action tomorrow night against Davidson. We'll have some full coverage there. We have a crew down there in Davidson, North Carolina. You see that at bgfalconmedia.com. Hockey got a big win over Ferris State tonight, and they're going to be in action once again against Ferris State tomorrow to round things out. And then you also turn to the Zig Zone this Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM. And all content with BGSU Athletics, please go to bgfalconmedia.com. So that's going to do it for us here. For myself, Lucas Clymer, for Sam Bork, Trey Kenny, and Adam Duffin, Marquette defeats Bowling Green 71-55. Signing off here from Falcon Radio in the Cooling Center. Have a good evening.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconmedia.com.